Good morning all, be blessed. I've been away for a little while. Long story, not enough time here to tell, but I will tell you something. I've gotten into something called Whole 30. I'm on my second week. I suggest that anyone who's interested in changing their relationship with food, particularly, look at wholefood.com, and those who are prone to get more interested in that, to download the audiobook or buy the book itself. I've already read the book once. I'm going through it again. I think it's one of those fascinating books that once in a while you get, which are precious. Highly recommend. Whole 30, Whole, WHOLE, and then the number 30.com. And please let me know how it works for you. I'm going to go back to Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Very briefly, on the preparation for looking at the 7 habits itself, Stephen goes to something called the circle of concern and circle of influence. And I think that this is one of the key elements and foundational principles before you get into the habits themselves. He says here, as we look at those things within our circle of concern, it becomes apparent that there are some things over which we have no real control and others that we can do something about. We could identify those concerns in the latter group of circumscribing them within a smaller circle of influence. We could identify those concerns in the latter group by circumscribing them within the smaller circle of influence. By determining which of these two circles is the focus of most of our time and energy, we can discover much about the degree of our proactivity. So this is what he puts down in that first circle. So basically what he's saying is some people are always very concerned about circle of concern. You know, the world is going to hell on a what is it, a chicken's basket, a hen's basket. Things are terrible. People always look at that half empty part of the glass instead of the half full. And then he goes on to talk about the proactive focus. Positive energy enlarges the circle of influence. Proactive people focus their efforts in the circle of influence. They work on things they can do something about. The nature of their energy is positive, enlarging and magnifying, causing their circle of influence to increase. So as you end up concentrating on those things that you can influence, the circle of your influence increases. Reactive people, on the other hand, focus their efforts in the circle of concern. They focus on the weakness of other people, the problems in the environment, and the circumstances over which they have no control. Their focus results in blaming and accusing attitudes, reactive language, and increased feelings of victimization. Do you know some people like that? I do. The negative energy generated by that focus combines with neglect in areas where they could do something about, causes a circle of influence to shrink. So this is so people who are out there in the circle of concern, their circle of influence shrinks. That's a reactive people. If it was only when we went to work on our circle of influence, when we focus on our own paradigms, that we began to create a positive energy that changed ourselves, and eventually influence our own situation at home. By working on ourselves instead of worrying about conditions, we're able to influence the conditions because of position, wealth, role, or relationship. There are some circumstances in which a person's circle of influence is larger than his or her circle of concern. Good stuff. Hope you can read it. Be well, be blessed, and smile a lot. It's always good to smile and feel positive. I do. I'm feeling really good, having gotten on this 30 days of self experiment, because that's what it is, an experiment on yourself. Be well. Give somebody a hug and tell them I love them. And I pray for my friend Jolie, 53 years old, who passed away day before yesterday from a from an illness in her brain. Be blessed. Travel well, my dear, my beloved.